I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And Crystal, today we got a great show.
Oh, we have a fantastic show lined up. We're going to talk about diversity, and we got someone that his specialty is on children and talking about diversity and what has gone on this past week.
Oh
wow. That needs to be one of the primary conversations everybody needs to be having.
Lord.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild. And then we have another controversial, I guess, conversation is that later on the California cannabis industry.
Oh,
so
yes.
We have my friend and the guru and this lady that's going to be on, Sherri Franklin. She is my kind of person because she talks and walks the walk at the same exact time.
Sounds like she's a disruptor to me.
She's a disruptor.
Oh,
and when
yeah.
she talks about visions, she activates on those visions, all in the same conversation. So I love those kind of people.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's going to be an exciting, fun show. And then we have the Leimert Park Book Fair going on this weekend. So our guest that's here today, that's really who came to see. He dropped in on us, but he really came for them. But we're all right with that.
That's cool.
We feel that. So what did you think about this week?
Oh, man. This is like a revisit to the 20s and the 30s, 40s and 50s. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, it has been pretty wild.
They talk about us moving forward. And what I saw there in those few days, it kind of took us really, 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 really back.
Yeah.
And it's very disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. So I'm trying to figure out what our members of Congress is going to really do, instead of talking and, because we know if this was our former president in office, they'll be talking a lot of smack about
he would have already been out.
Yeah.
He would have been already out. But this one here, and it was interesting. What was interesting to me was a couple points. One, his surrogates that are always putting him up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
There was one guy, a black guy actually, and I don't get that part, period, but okay. He actually broke down in tears because he realized whatever he has been doing he was on the wrong road with the wrong person. As my mom used to say when I was growing up, and I think this is called universal mom wisdom.
Right.
When you lay down with dogs, you're going to get up with fleas, and they always tell you be careful of who you associate with.
Oh, yes.
My mother must have drilled that into me from the time I could comprehend what she was saying.
Yes.
And so when you look at this whole Trump administration...
We'll just refer to him as 45.
45. So, they're all like, what is wrong with you? But what I did like this week was... the news commentators, which is the reason why he's in there, they have realized the error of their ways. So I saw so many of them putting them on the spot. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah.
I will not have you on my show lying. That is not true.
That is
and
good.
that's what should have been going on
from
all
day
along.
one.
From
Since day one. But you know what?
Right.
What can I say?
But
I'm trying to bite my tongue.
I know. But did you see I don't know if you saw the HBO special that came on. It was called Vice. It's from Vice News.
I watch it every now and again, but I didn't watch that episode.
This one. So they had a young lady that was interviewing all of the neo-Nazi and the Klanmen and all that sort of stuff, and she was actually there with them while they were going through this process. She's a blonde.
Yes.
Yeah, with the glasses. Blonde girl with ponytails.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So this one guy was talking all big and bad, and he was all his weapons laid out on the bed, and the next day when he found out there was a war
that the FBI is after him,
he cried like a baby. He's like, what the heck? How do you be so big and bad?
That's what I'm talking about. They're all cowards.
They're all cowards. cowards. And then now they're upset because some of their parents have disowned them and their family members have disowned them. One guy was kicked out of his town. They said they don't have anything to do with him. Right. So they got caught up in that frenzy melee stuff and realizing, and one guy even like, wait a minute, this was supposed to be fun. I was just coming to have fun. I'm not a Nazi. Well, again, whoever you lie down with, that's what you coming up with. You're going to be just like them.
And you know what really kills me about this, Crystal, is that 45 is really supporting all of that. All of that, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he's over here cutting all these small business programs. There's no funding available for small businesses. There's nothing. He's tapping into the MBDA program. He's tapping into the SBA program, the funding that small businesses would get. All the grants and loans that were available out there, they're cutting all those programs out because of these other people that he's supporting on the other side.
But at the same time, those people are not recognizing when he says jobs. How are you going to bring back jobs that robots have taken over?
That's what I'm talking about.
And it had nothing to do with them. It was just the fact that businesses are in business to make money, and for them, robotics is the next thing. I was with a friend of mine that works for Tesla Foundation. He said that's the future. And so what needs to be happening is those individuals need to be trained on how to program the robotics, not do the labor, because it's no longer efficient.
And you see, because of his ignorant approach to resolving that issue last week, what happened? All those 8 CEOs from those powerful organizations decide to quit.
They all left.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, they all left.
Because they recognize that they don't want to align themselves with that. They've got shareholders to report to. They've got businesses who are supporting their products and services. They don't have time for that stuff.
Right.
That's non-productive.
And their stockholders drive them.
Exactly.
So if it looks like the stock is about to drop, oh no, they ain't even about that at all. They got to go. So all of them want. And I think today, didn't the Art Council, I think about 13 of the 17 that walked away from that.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then we got Steve Bannon, he's gone, and now he's going to have a personal vendetta. They need to just round them all up. Actually, I would prefer to see them walk out in the orange suits and the handcuffs.
Actually,
that's what I would prefer
I think they're going to evoke one of two things. Either the articles of impeachment or they're going to do the 25th Amendment.
Yes.
25th Amendment, whenever you're not sound in mind
there's
as
a
a president.
Senators that already came up and said that the man is not a sound mind.
Oh, yes.
And when he made his statement on Saturday and everybody saw that he was uncomfortable with that, and then he came back on the next day and that was the real Trump. That was the real Trump. There ain't no joking about who this man, and this is who he was when he was, hey, Candace, how are you? Congratulations on your renewing of your marriage vows, my sister. There was a marriage retreat last week, and all of the ladies that, all of my friends, that are married, they all renewed their vows at this retreat.
I guess you and I got to renew our vows too, Crystal.
Yeah, for the show.
It's been a year. It's been a year now that we've been on the air. And this is very successful for us.
Yeah.
We've done some great things.
Yeah, so we've interviewed some amazing people, and we're going to continue to do that.
So I guess we got to renew our vows in October, right?
I guess we have to renew our vows in October. So the other thing going on, I was talking to, let me back up a little bit. Today I just came from the a impromptu tour. Crenshaw Chamber of Commerce had a tour of the new Kaiser Permanente that's right here in the community.
Yes.
Beautiful facility.
That's great.
So a lot of the other community-based organizations, and Mike Jones, who was the president of the chamber, who's going to be the interim president shortly.
Oh, wow.
So we were talking, and we were talking about how we can now start coming together, and we should be coming together because this is that time for it, right? So even though what we're seeing in Charlottesville and all over, the neo-Nazis, this is a time, I think it had to happen. Yeah. Because America can't move forward until we address what transpired when we were slaves. And I saw a picture on Facebook this week, and it says they don't want to forget the Civil War.
Right.
But they want us to forget that we were slaves.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you can't have both. Well, one fed into the other one. So
they ask us to do that, but they don't ask any of the other groups to do that.
Right, exactly. So I think this is as Candace said, we just renewed our commitment to the business community, and we appreciate us, both of us.
All right. Thank you, Candace.
So
good looking out.
So Kaiser, though, is going to be amazing. Everything is completely automated.
Great.
When you walk in the door, they're going to know that you're there. Once you check in, the whole entire building knows you're there.
That's great.
They're going to send out messages that your medication is low, or if you just need to talk to your doctor, you can use your tablet to talk to your doctor so you don't have to come in.
Sound like they've been having some committee meetings and some town hall meetings.
Yeah.
Because that's a big step up right there.
Yeah, that's a big thing. They have all this amazing artwork all over the facility, and they took art from the community artists. So it was a young lady on the tour with me. She actually did one of the mosaics. Absolutely beautiful.
Wow,
it was in the lobby.
that's great.
So we're going to have her on the show and some others. So that was pretty cool. That was a highlight for the day.
Oh, that sounds good, Crystal.
Highlight for the day.
You're in the thick of things there.
You know I have to
with
be.
some of the movers and shakers.
Yeah, you got to make a presence from Recycling Black Dollar. I'm there as a representative of Recycling Black Dollars, and as well as for the Business Zone, and just being an activist for the community.
Right.
Because we have to engage for things to change in our community. We have to get off of our duffuses and be involved. And we got to bring other people together to understand that we're the only ones that's going to fight for us. Everybody's fighting for themselves. We didn't see anything this last weekend. Was everybody else is fighting for themselves, trying to hang on to what they believe is right for them, and we have to do the same thing. So in that vein, I was very proud of the Kappa fraternity. They're standing up for Colin Kaepernick.
That's great.
They sent out a letter to the commissioner and the NFL commissioner and said they were going to do their 120,000 members of the Kappa Alpha side. They were going to boycott the NFL until they make sure that Colin has got a job.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
It's about time that we stand up and we unite. Because we talk a lot as African Americans. We talk a lot, but we don't activate. We don't act.
Right.
And for them to do that, to me, that's a big thing. If it were any other groups, those groups would come together and say, we're either not supporting this, we're not purchasing, and all of a sudden it would make some changes.
Right.
Well, with us, we don't do that. So I'm happy to see that happening.
So they and as I was talking to a friend of mine, Leo Kabline, he's a Kappa, and he was saying it's more than just the fact that there's 120,000 members. He says of those members, they got lawyers and doctors.
That's right.
And big corporate heads. And so these are the ones that are buying box seats.
They've got influences.
They have influences, right? And you got a lot of political senators and governors and mayors, and so that's a powerful move from them. Now, if all the other Greeks did the same thing, we would literally change how they view us.
And that's what we got to start doing moving forward.
We have to do that.
We got to come together. We got to mobilize that movement and make sure this thing happens.
Right. And I use the Greek analogy because they're always saying that we can't come together, but that's not true. Because the first organization, when you go to college, if you pledge, you are pledging to be your brother or your sister, your Sora, and that's a group that stays cohesively together. The Delta women, they move in like one big unit. So that's not true that we don't operate together. And if you've been a member of a church, you operate together. So why can't we operate together that way in business?
That's what I'm talking about.
Why are we not supporting our own businesses?
That's what I'm talking about.
Because we're already doing that, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
You know how to do that.
And I've said this on the show so many times before. We occupy 12% of the economy, right? And the Latinos are 39%. So you add 39 and 12%, that's 51%. We're dominant.
Right.
Why can't we come together and dominate?
Exactly. And the conversation we had, not just African Americans, why don't we come together and collaborate with our African brothers, our Caribbean brothers,
That's
our Pan.
What I'm talking
Why
about.
are we not doing that? Because when we do that, then we're even bigger than 12%.
Well, you know what I think, Crystal? I think you and I got to make this effort where we should launch that we should launch that campaign.
Yes.
You know, we're not going to wait for anyone else to do that. We're just going to go out there and launch that campaign, start reaching out to different groups and try bringing them together.
Yeah, I think so.
And for those of you who are just listening or just tuning in, you're on the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic. Our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. And also our sponsors, Crystal alluded to it earlier, but Recycling Black Dollars is one of our sponsors, as well as Small Biz Pro. So those are our key sponsors, and we're looking for additional sponsors. So if you're listening, we'd love to support the Business Zone. We really would welcome that.
Yeah, and this weekend, earlier this week, because it's my downtown right now. I'm in between Mount Sac.
Yeah.
I just came off of July, the July of, I don't even know what we want to call that. I was in, out, working here and doing all that sort of stuff with the children. That's my philanthropy month where I'm doing the biz camp for the kids. But so now I got to go out and meet some new businesses in the community.
Yes.
That just opened, just started and launched, and they're minority owned, black owned. So I went to Inglewood and I invited, and we're going to have this young lady on the show. They have a very unique business. It's called Just Weave. So it fits that, how I feel about the hair industry, right?
Yes, yes.
So I met her. This young lady, there's 5 of them I found out yesterday when I went, and they had owned another shop over on, I think, Manchester, and now they have a second location for Just Weave. They have these amazing packages. So ladies, you can go in and get your full head for $150. They sell hair. I talked to them about actually thinking about a beauty
sponsoring the show,
sponsoring the show, being on the show, and becoming a member of Recycling Black Dollars.
Yes.
And I also talked to them about the potential of owning a beauty supply store.
That's beautiful.
Right, because they already got the hair.
Yeah.
So now, but the young lady went to Malaysia, she went to China, she went to India, and she chose her own hair. And so there's a video on their website that shows that. So it's justweaves.com, and they are on Crenshaw and 107th, I think. They're in a little shopping center, and it's called Just Weave.
So they have a storefront.
They have a storefront.
Okay. And just so you know, Just Weave, Crystal and we can assist you with your business. Crystal does the financial, bookkeeping, payroll, and all of those things. We do the infrastructure over on this side, business management, business infrastructure, certification. If you're a minority woman, we can help you become certified so you can obtain opportunities otherwise.
Right, exactly. And that's what I kind of told her. So yesterday, RBD had our second relationship building workshop with Renee Coda.
All right.
And just like you, he showed out.
Oh, he showed out.
He showed out just like you.
That's what I'm talking about.
We had a good time. So we're going to have Renee on the show
in
September.
Excellent.
We've already
How many people showed up?
We had about 31 people.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Very
so it was a good show.
Same location, right?
Same location right there at the U.S. Community Room right there on Crenshaw and Slauson.
That's great.
So we have another one next Thursday on August 24th.
Good.
And so we have a young lady. I don't quite remember her name, but
is it Catherine?
Nadia, Noni,
Nadia? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know this name, but Renee did a great, fantastic job.
That's good.
So
he's in good company.
He's in good company, and you know how he is. He's funny, and he's kind of like an oxymoron. He's like the military, but he's got humor, right?
Exactly.
Or humility, as he called it.
Humility.
Yeah, humility. So that was really cool. So we did that. Also, right now, Recycling Black Dollars. So this is your opportunity because you missed out last time, right?
I know.
So Recycling Black Dollars has started their 90 and 90 day membership drive. We want 90 new and renewing members in the next 90 days. And if you renew now, you'll get a combo ad in our resource guide.
Really? Now?
All right. And then we want to do some talking with you on how we can get them into the Small Biz Pro.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Until we get our application. But let's see if we can work together. So, but that's what we're going to do. So 90 and 90, we need you and everyone on Facebook Live and everyone in the audience to become a member of RBD because Recycling Black Dollars has been in the community for 30 years. And our sole purpose is to support our black businesses.
Right.
So I'm an advocate I'm out in the street all the time, and everybody knows who I am. They know my big mouth is always going to be talking. And so if you're in our family, you can guarantee I'll be sending people to you.
That sounds good to me.
So you need to become a member of RBD.
Well, that helps me to make a transition to let our listeners know exactly what Small Biz Pro is all about. Now, Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 business management, procurement assistance, and market research assistance system that helps small businesses to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Now, how does this happen? Well, it's a system where you log in. It's online. It's a cloud-based system. You log into that system. You register your business, answer 6 questions. That's it, and you get registered. Then you upload your key documents into that system. And by uploading your documents, I'm talking your business plan, your insurance, your business insurance, your tax ID, your infrastructure documents, meaning if you're a corporation, you want to do your bylaws, your articles, and all of those things. So once you upload those to the system, you can access them whenever you need, wherever you are in the world, in 10 seconds or less. So if I need your contracts, if I need your capability statement, I need your minority insurance, you can just access that using your smartphone, your laptop, or your tablet, wherever you are in the world. It's amazing. I had a workshop yesterday with the LA Latino Chamber, downtown LA.
Okay.
Phenomenal. They loved it. Loved it. Never seen anything like that before.
It's an amazing program. Yes. And if you're in the certification business and any business, actually, when you go to looking for documents and you got to go searching all over your email, and most people don't even have an updated filing system anyway.
Exactly.
And those documents sometimes they expire because you don't see them on a regular basis. So your program will let you know, right?
Send them alerts and remind them to renew their documents.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yes. So it's phenomenal. Really love it. We had about 20-something people in the workshop yesterday, and they were all blown away. They're going, how come I've never seen this program before?
So we got to get a big investor for it so we can take it to the next level. Because we've been talking about some great things that we can do with it. And in fact, the conversation you and I had last week about it, I kind of briefly mentioned it to Renee. Well, he actually started talking about it.
Oh, really?
In the same vein that we talked about it, and I went, wow.
Really?
Because that's what he was saying was missing.
Oh,
and
man.
he got somebody that would be interested in doing
that.
So you and I got to meet with Renee.
We got to do a sit down then.
Yeah.
And here's also what's going on. I don't know if I tell you this yet.
What?
I'm supposed to be telling you these things, right?
Yes, you are.
So next week, I'm the procurement chairperson for the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. So next week we're having our annual convention up north in wine country, Sonoma. And I'm going to be on the Hispanic Shark Tank next week.
Oh, wow. You did mention that. I can't wait. That's exciting.
So I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to see if I can get some money, some funding out of it for the program. Because really, this program is not just for me. Because I could build this for myself. I could upload my documents and it benefits me.
Right.
But I want to make sure small businesses get the opportunity of utilizing this to become business ready, contract ready, so they can go out and be more efficient in their business.
Right, exactly.
So that's really what I'm going to be pushing on the Shark Tank.
Okay.
I really want them to see that it's not about me. It's about small businesses.
Yeah, exactly. And we just have to make a platform so small businesses have all the tools that they need.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, today when I was at the tour for Kaiser, we were having this conversation, and everybody, it was the same conversation that our small businesses don't hear the information or don't get the information early enough so that they can act on it. And as I was telling them about the show, that's one of the reasons for the show. Is to make sure that you get information that you need so you can make better business decisions in a timely manner, and not because you have to.
That's right.
And so that's fantastic. Candace says, wow, Gilbert, congratulations.
Thank you, Candace. I get this funding, Candace. Believe me, you'll be one of the first recipient of this program.
Oh, there you go. So that'll be fantastic.
And since we have a quasi PR person in the corner over there who is listening, who might want to take this on, you never know. She might be able to take it to Amazon or wherever we need to go.
Yeah, so it's going to be big. We got some big stuff coming up, and we're excited. And again, I think the world is ready. At least I hope our people are ready. There are a lot of our people that woke up this week, and they got a wake up call. They got a wake up call because it was real. Charlottesville was real.
That was real.
And when you hear so many of the people, I mean, somebody runs down another human being and think it's okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
This world has gone nuts.
It's unbelievable.
It's gone nuts. So this is a time to embrace and try to bring some sanity back.
Yeah.
But it's also our window of opportunity.
For sure.
And we as African American people or black people or Caribbean, Pan-African, whatever we are, we came from that continent, from the African continent. We need to get our acts together and start working together and realize that we are our own saviors.
Exactly.
And we need to do what we're supposed to do.
You know, back in the day, we were the first entrepreneurs.
I know.
We were the ones bartering, from village to village. We're exchanging information. We may not exchange money, but we exchange service for product and product for product.
I think they called that, I think I read that recently, susu. I think they called that susu.
Yes.
Is that what that's called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that and that was a whole barter system.
Yes.
And if you needed a tractor or you needed your fields plowed, then your neighbor came over with his tractor and he plowed it. And then when you had your first harvest, then you fed his family.
That's exactly what it was.
To be doing.
That's how we got started. But somehow along the way, we've forgotten.
Yeah.
We have forgotten. So we got to bring it back into perspective.
We have to bring
that will be you and I doing this.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. And along the same lines with Kaepernick, there was a video that I saw this morning that came out, and they asked me to send it out through my messenger, and I did. It's a number of black men are coming together, and they put a black T-shirt over top of their favorite team, and they will not be watching any games. Yes. They will not be participating in any fantasy football and nothing during this time until we get some equality in the NFL.
I hear that.
So they're shutting down, and so one of the things they said, a number of things they said was, step one, they're going to start spending that time that they would be going to watch games with children and teaching children how to play football and spending that time. They will be at their churches praying. They will be with their wives and girls spending time where during that season most women become widows. So now their men will be there for them. So they all came out and they talked about that, and it was an excellent video. So I have to share it with you. I put it on Facebook this morning.
I'm loving that.
Yeah, that was awesome. So whoever they were, if it was the Raiders or the Chargers or whomever it was, they put a black shirt over. So LA gonna get their acts together because we've got the two new stadiums.
Two teams, two stadiums that we need to fill. So they better get their act together.
The only thing people hear, because the only thing that no one discriminates is the color of green money.
That's what I'm talking about. And makes a lot of people nervous.
Right. So I don't even know why we never used this power before. But if it takes football for us to get it together,
that's what we're going to do.
And then that's fine with me. I'm all right with that. So we got a few seconds before we go to on commercial. On a solemn note, I told you last week one of my young ladies that was in my biz camp died.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, she was 16 years old. Her name is Amina Muhammad. So the services are this weekend. So we're going on Saturday. It's a very sad time. Right. I also learned that her mom had died 2 years ago. So now the dad is dealing with the death of his wife and now the death of his only daughter. Right. So we still don't know why it happened, but definitely want to hold their family in our prayers and know that we're there. And she was such an amazing young lady. The reason I do what I do with kids is because I want to make a difference. Yes. And so I do know we left a very lasting impression on her, not knowing that was going to be the last time, but we did an awesome job with our camp. We had some amazing kids. We had one of them here last week.
Oh, yes.
And Miss Hannah Chung, and she won the competition, and she was awesome.
She was phenomenal.
I just love kids. They're just so phenomenal. Yeah. And you embrace them. and they just absorb everything you have, and that's what the camp was like. And so our next guest, or our first guest, is going to be a great segue because that's what he does. He writes books and publishes books for kids, and so we're going to really interview him, and that's what I do. They're the reason I do what I do.
That's good. That's good. Well, I know you have a passion for this thing. I've seen you over the years working with kids, helping kids. As a matter of fact, what you didn't talk about, which I'm going to touch on briefly before we go to break, is that, you took some kids with you last week to Maryland, to Baltimore.
I did. We came back with some hardware, took 14 tennis players, our elite tennis players. We took them to the American Tennis Association Centennial Championship program. And I didn't even know how significant it was, some of the stuff, because you get there and you find out history. And I met a lady, her name is Bonnie Logan. She won the ATA championship in 1964. She was the reigning champion to 1974.
First African American.
And at that time, if you won the ATA Open, then you were considered the best woman or the best man, but black, tennis player in the country, and you automatically got an invitation to the USTA Open, and you got to play there. They've changed those rules now, but it was pretty significant. We had Richard Williams. He came out and hit with the kids, and he was honored and inducted into the ATA Hall of Fame.
And for those of you who are listening who don't know who Richard Williams is, that's the father of Serena and Venus Williams.
And the significance of that, I found out this week, was he bucked the system. He bucked the USTA system, and he bucked the ATA system.
He is a disruptor.
And he's a disruptor.
That's what I love.
And he took his children, his two girls, they're the best tennis players in the world, right?
In the world.
And so now we're going to honor him.
But you know what's amazing, though? When he first came out with those two kids, and they introduced them to the market, he told the world that they're going to become the best tennis players. Well, you remember he said that, and nobody listened. Nobody
his girls
believed
are the best, and so we introduced him to the kids. He spent a whole lot of time with the kids. We got two kids that received scholarship offers from Morgan State.
Yes,
and we stayed at Morgan State, and the significance of Morgan State was that when 100 years ago, when the ATA started, we could not stay at any of the hotels. So the only place we could stay was at a black college, and that was Morgan State. So we stayed there with the kids. It was awesome. So next year, we're getting ready to start our campaign. We're getting ready to kick it off, and we'll make sure invite you to. We're having a souvenir booklet appreciation for all our sponsors. And then we're going to kick off our campaign for 2018.
I'm loving that.
And we're going to Orlando, Florida with
I'm loving that. With that being said, we're going to have to take a break right now. We went a little bit over our time, but we're going to take a break. You're listening to the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. If you need to give us a call, our number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
And so we are back, and we are here. We have our guest today, and we're really, really excited, Gilbert, because as I said earlier, the Leimert Park Book Fair is here in Los Angeles, and it's so important. You know, I grew up reading like 2-3 books a week. I've gotten away from that as an adult.
See, that's one of the things I love about you, Crystal. You read a lot.
Yeah, I read so much when I was a kid that I read everything that the library allowed me to read at the age of 12. My mom had to start buying books, and they became my friends. So in storage today, I have like 25 boxes of nothing but books because they're my friends. So I really respect what you do, sir. So this is Mr. Thomas Kinslow, and he's the creator of Dewey Does Children's Book Series and the president and CEO of a Dewey Does company. And in 1999, he created Dewey Does, an animated character inspired by his then 7-year-old son, Jonathan. He admits that his son wasn't the star athlete or the first pick of the team sport. Still, Jonathan displayed a positive disposition and passion for sports. Kinslow wanted to embody his son's spirit in the character Dewey Does, who can do anything with the right attitude, reinforcing a message of perseverance and fitness. He chooses to tell the story of Dewey Does through the prism of sports because it's accessible and something that crosses racial, ethnic, and gender lines. So we are so happy to have Mr. Thomas Kinslow with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Thank you. Appreciate Crystal and Gilbert.
Are you a writer or just the publisher?
Well, I started out as a writer.
Okay.
And I couldn't get my own books published, so I converted and started becoming a publisher.
No, that's important. Yeah. So are most of your authors, are they actually children book writers or story writers? Or?
Yes, our main author is a gentleman named John Cooper, and he's a screenplay writer by trade.
Oh, okay.
And he came across, we kind of somehow met each other. He's from Long Island, New York, and he converted himself into writing children's books.
Oh, okay. So tell us about Jonathan and what inspired you to, because something he did that inspired the whole process.
It was his passion. It was self-induced. A lot of parents tend to force their kids into certain things, and I let my son evolve into it. And sports was he just gravitated right to it, and I just sat there and watched him.
Okay.
And he was overweight and no less than confidence. He had all the confidence in the world, just overweight, and his coaches shied away from him in basketball and other sports, but I noticed his passion took over every single time.
Okay.
His will to become better at each game.
Okay. So how old is Jonathan now?
23.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how does he feel that this book that the character is based upon him?
Oh, he loves it.
He does?
He loves it, yes.
Oh, now, what does he do? What did he go to school for, and where did he go to school?
He ended up going to Fresno State.
Oh, well, so he's out here. He was out here.
No, he was out here.
Okay.
And played a little football, and then now he's back in the workforce in New York.
Oh, okay, cool.
Excellent. Now, is that the only book that you've written?
We've published 3 books.
Okay.
The Comeback, First Aid, In the Groove, and The Comeback. All central focused on Dewey Does, and they do pretty well in the New York City school system and different places around the country.
That's great. Great. So how do you see fitting in writing books and publishing books, tying that into entrepreneurship? How do you see that?
It's a challenge. Some people say it's a challenge because you're African American, and I say no.
Okay.
I accept it as a challenge overall to get into an industry that I'm not familiar with. But from now, I am very familiar with it.
Yeah.
We have successfully sold over 30,000 books.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
That's
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What distribution channel did you use? Amazon or?
We directly off our website.
Oh,
We
really?
go directly into the school systems.
Oh.
And particularly the New York City school system has been very good to us.
That's great.
And right now they sell directly off our website. And yes, we do have an online and on Amazon.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Wow. So I see some of the characters. Let's see. We have Big Bang. He's a 10-year-old African-American boy who doesn't play sports, but instead loves playing the piano and is a musical prodigy. And Shy Anna.
Shy Anna, yes.
And she's Asian from China who's unbeatable on the basketball court. And we have Fussy Fran, white girl who's always a little fussy, second-guessing Dewey in his antics. And Cindy Joy, a white girl who insists on getting her hair and nail done and already camera-ready for a selfie. And Trevor Sparks, a Latino boy known as Mr. Cool. So who and this is the... You didn't develop this. This is the writers.
Yeah, no, I developed it.
You developed this.
I actually developed the Dewey Does' friends, how they associate with each other.
Okay.
And each one of those characters actually came from people I've had experiences with.
Okay.
So, Big Bang, a good friend of mine was named Steve, and I didn't know that he was instrumentally inclined. And he was very good at playing instruments. Well, we did not know that.
Oh.
But he wasn't good at sports, but yet he tried to always come and play basketball with us.
Okay.
Until I got to know him. And I was very impressed. I said, I'm going to make a character behind you called Big Bang, because he was a very big kid.
Oh.
and really, part of it was because blacks always stereotype.
Yeah.
So... for me, I walk into a room full of whites and they say,
basketball.
You're a basketball player.
Yeah.
Like, really? And how exactly do you know that?
Because you're tall.
Yeah, I'm tall. And then one kid would throw an alley-oop, and I'm saying, what do you want me to do with that?
So how tall are you?
6'3".
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well, I still couldn't.
See, sitting down, I couldn't tell that, man. I'm thinking, probably about 5'11", 6.
Yeah, no, and I still couldn't dunk.
Really?
I was a pretty good shooter.
Wow.
So
what was your sport, though?
basketball.
Okay, so
And track and field. Basketball, I love. Yeah, my son's was football, and I really want him to be a basketball player.
You know what I was just thinking right now? I was thinking about that movie, White Man Can't Jump, where Black Man Can't Dunk.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I had to go there with that. I'm sorry.
But it's so funny. We assume that children, that all of them should be involved in sports. And I used to be. Kids have always been a passion of mine. I don't have any of my own, so I gave all that to other people's children. But I was a ski instructor, and I taught kids how to race. And I remember when I was instructing at Bear, one of the things that we did was we became an instructor at a local ski resort so that we could actually teach our own kids when we came back home. So there was a number of kids would come in the class. You didn't know these kids. They just signed, their parents signed them up and dumped them in your class, and you had all day with them. And I remember this one little boy. I get him up on skis and he'd fall back down, and I'd get him up on skis and he'd fall down. I was like, man, you got like noodle legs. What's wrong with you? Because his little legs wouldn't lock into his pizza pie. And so when I came out of after class was over, I was all dressed in regular street clothes, no longer in my uniform, and I feel this person around my legs. So I'm like, who the heck is grabbing my legs?
Daniel,
and here's this little boy going, Miss, what do you call him? Teacher. When I come back, I'm gonna have stronger legs. Okay? I'm like, how do you even know it's me? But kids are just so resourceful.
Kids are very beautiful to work with. For me, as I grew up and as became a young adult, I've always liked to work with the kids in the community. Part of that was what inspired me to really start developing Dewey Does and his background, Fussy Fran. That's probably one of my favorites, and now we're working on an animation series that is pretty interesting. It's I look forward to it. We're calling it Sports Makes Me Feel Happy.
Okay.
And it's a campaign we're starting to come out with and try to get kids more involved. And part of what we want to really bring to the stage with Dewey Does is diversity.
Yeah, and that's important. We're
getting kids to understand the value of diversity, because I understood it. And I know that when a kid is more diversified and more diverse and meeting different people, they're smarter. They become more active and more have more thoughts and seeing how different the world can be.
I have a character for you.
Sure.
I want you to call him Gilly the Entrepreneur. You put him in there, that's going to be big for you, I'm telling you. It's going to be big.
We actually have a short story. We publish short stories when our authors not working on books. We work on short stories.
Yeah.
And one of them about Dewey Does being a little entrepreneur.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Because, see, what we got to do with our kids is start them early into becoming entrepreneurs. See, when we were growing up, we didn't have anyone to teach us how to be entrepreneurs. And that's why many of our small businesses now, they make bad decisions in business because they don't have that mindset, the concept, no one to teach them. They stumble and fall, don't want to really pick them up and say, hey, continue. So we want to start doing that for our kids right now, teaching them how to be entrepreneurs so they can learn from early.
See, and that's interesting, because one of the subjects I've got involved with a couple of friends of mine, entrepreneurs, is that we're still being the first at it.
Yeah.
And that's where, if you're the first, you're also going to be the first to make mistakes.
Right, exactly.
And
you're going to make a lot of mistakes.
And be ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's almost good and bad, and to realize part of what I was listening to in your show is our history. And yes, we started out as entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we started. We had no choice.
Where did it go? I'll make the argument that it was taken away from us. We have to get it back, and by doing so, we got to get out there, develop, and have the courage not to be afraid to fail.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's interesting you said that, because I get that when I'm having conversations with people. A lot of them are so afraid of making waves, and they feel that if we just stay right here in this little line or this little space, people won't bother us. But they're going to bother us regardless. I mean, we really, truly, as Gilbert said earlier, we're 12% or 9%. But when you look at from the inside, we're in this inside, and we know that our communities are hurting. I just came back from Baltimore, and I had never seen communities that we don't even have what we consider ghettos here in Los Angeles compared to what I saw when I was in Baltimore. And I'm sure you've seen that in New York City or in the area you're from. Now, I'm from upstate New York, and Buffalo, and I guess it was a disadvantage because I lived in a multicultural community my whole entire life. I had friends of every ethnicity. So I didn't recognize or even get exposed to any kind of racism until I was 26 years old. And I didn't know what it was. So I had to ask my mom, what the heck is going on? Because we weren't raised like that. But when we think about that, we're so afraid. And I know that's an intentional thing, was to keep us from moving forward and doing anything and just keep us in our little safe zones. But you have conversations with people and they don't even think it out. You know, they'll go, oh my God, so-and-so is having, like, really? Let's think that through. How is that going to happen? Did this happen to you? Well, no. Okay, so then how is that going to happen? I had that conversation just the other day with a girlfriend of mine because there was supposed to be a big a rally in Santa Monica this weekend at Google, and they were and on this map, when you see the hate map, they say that California has the most hate groups in the country. Well, let me think that one through. That really doesn't make any sense to me. So, and in numbers, they said 79 hate groups in the state of California, which is a big place compared to being on the East Coast, right? Because you can go from New York to D.C. to Virginia to Maryland all in one day back there.
Absolutely.
It takes you 12 hours to get to San Francisco. So nobody's going to be jumping on their car in 12 hours to get somewhere to create havoc, right?
Exactly.
But when you're on the East Coast, in the South, you were in the South, Mississippi, right? You could get to Mississippi, you could get to Alabama, you could get to Arkansas, you could get to Florida,
Georgia.
all within a 4-hour time span. So when you tell me that, that says, a hate group, which is going to have Klansmen there, because we don't have Klansmen here. We got neo-Nazis, but we don't have Klansmen. They can do a whole lot of havoc in that space than they can here.
Yes.
And that's how I see things. That's how I look at things. So, because the state of California is really pretty large compared to, and the distance to get to and from. It take you with traffic 4.5 hours to get to San Diego.
I'm telling you.
By the time you do traffic, you're done.
You're done. You're wiped out.
You have no time for havoc.
For those of you who are just tuning in, you're listening and watching the Business Zone with
Christo
and Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic. Our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. So you're doing some of this great work that you're doing with books. You're doing it in the New York City school system. How about here in California? Are you doing anything within the school systems here?
Not yet. We're learning about California, working with the larger states. It's very challenging. We are working with some schools in Houston. And there I am finding out how big a state can be.
That's a big state as well. And different dynamics in every part of the state, right?
Yes. So we were looking initially to converting books to Spanish. We kind of slowed that down because we still.
Why?
We didn't understand the market yet. We didn't have anyone that can kind of lead that charge. And it can't be me. I don't speak a lick of Spanish. And then you got to really learn the ethnicities and different words in the book may mean different things.
Because you got different dialects. Depending on where they came from.
Run into that too early.
That will be a great market to tap into, the Latino market. Because not only can you do it here in the United States, but you can do it international too.
Absolutely.
You got Costa Rica, you got Panama, you got Venezuela, you got Ecuador, you got all of those different.
Brazil.
You see what I'm saying?
And Dewey Does, being a 9-year-old boy who loves sports, is a really great tie-in.
Because you can bring in the soccer side of that, right? And all of that. So the animation you talked about, now that's one of your next steps or your next project. So what does that look like?
It looks great. You ask me. I know I'm going to deal with different challenges. The book's already enough of a challenge, but the animation just seems like the next right step. I wrote a script called "The Mom Saved My Sneakers." And we are working on converting different parts of it to test animation.
So now the artwork is amazing. So is there an artist? Is that you?
No. When I first created Dewey Does, yes, I was the illustrator. But I always say, if you can find someone to do it better, just open up a checkbook.
That's so true. I love it. I love the characters. I love the animation in there. So now. The illustrations are so very now.
Sid Blaze out of Brooklyn, New York. when I met him, I went through probably good 20 animators.
That's usually how it is.
And once I met Sid kind of just grabbed the vision and went with it.
Okay.
We couldn't even get the right complexion of Dewey Does.
Yeah.
Some of the illustrators, we color codes and all that.
Yeah.
And so the original Dewey Does actually looks like a white character.
Yeah.
So we would go on radio stations and they would say, well, why did you create a white character? Me being African American.
Yeah.
And I said, no, he's African American. I said, well, he looks. I said, well, okay,
he's brown.
But no, he's African American. But that was another conversation because I said, well, why should his color be an issue? Because he's just a 9-year-old boy who loves sports.
Yeah.
That's how
it could be any ethnicity.
So some of the interviewers had an issue with me being African American, creating a character that looked white.
Wait, now did I read that he was multiracial?
Yeah,
he was multicultural, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he was white and black, or biracial.
But you know the rule. You know.
Yeah, 8%. Yeah, exactly. Did you see that? It was on Facebook where President Obama. Yeah. He was looking at the window, and when right after Charlottesville, and the little white kid and the black kid and the Hispanic kid, and he was saying, children don't see color, and they don't,
and they don't. Which is, again, we grow up and learn to be this.
Right.
Children don't see it at all. So I love to sit down and watch these different ethnicities just play. Male, female, white, black, Asian, Indian. It's something that's how I saw the Dewey Does world.
Yeah.
And it still captivates me.
Right.
It just, and then once these kids grow up, because when I grew up, I had one of my best friends was Spanish. The other one was Polish.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't see that. Mm-hmm. I just found these two cats to be interesting, which made my world once again diversified.
Yeah.
Right.
And I grew up in a black community.
Yeah.
But Marcus was in a different area, and my other friend was in a different area. But somehow we found each other in elementary school.
Right.
And we just became really good friends. And I actually learned how to dance in Spanish. I didn't know, but I was a kid doing this. And you kind of learn how to eat, how they talk, how they
because my girlfriend, my best friend is Cuban, so they live in a Cuban household. So you get their part of their culture because they're your friends, right? And they induct you into their world, and so you get a little bit. So I see you are a nonprofit.
Yes.
So do you know that Target stores are very much involved in children's books?
Actually, no.
Then you should
there
check.
You go again. You learn something new.
Yeah, you need to check with them because there was a time, and I don't know if it still happens. We might be able to ask our other guests when she starts. There was a book fair, a children's book fair that they had out of USC, and Target was one of the largest sponsors for that program. And I think they may be still doing it, so you should check with Target stores.
Well, we are looking. We are engaged with some sponsors now that are discovering our product and kind of the body of work that we put into it. And they find it very interesting. So I can't wait to sit back and say, hey, thank you to my sponsor.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to introduce you or give you a introduction to Dr. Thompson. Remember, she was on the show? And she's a publisher, been a publisher for the last 30, 40 years.
Okay.
So introduce you to her, and as well as Sherita Herring. She does nonprofit. She's a nonprofit extraordinaire as well, and her area is usually with those in the entertainment business and that have nonprofits with programs for kids, and so I'll introduce you to her as well, and she probably can help guide you in that area. Or you know Sherita? Okay, so we'll introduce you to them, and then they can help you, and they can also help you get into the California marketplace.
Okay, yeah, we've had the non-for-profit since 2006.
Okay,
it's called Dewey Does Foundation to fight against childhood obesity. So, the first lady came in and she kind of really put it on the map, but we were already dealing with that issue back in 2006.
Okay,
and it does. Once again, our foundation does pretty good spreading the message, spreading the education.
Okay.
That's partly why we're here, too. We got some material for some of the kids that we'll see at the Lambert Park Book Festival tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah,
Good.
And there's another friend of mine that she works with the Diabetes Association, and she's a fitness instructor and also a consultant and coach. And her area is childhood obesity as well as diabetes, and so she works with them with a fitness program that she does with them, and eating and nutrition. And so I'll make that.
That's great.
Introduction as well.
I think when we were talking earlier, Dr. Carol out of Houston, Texas, will be working on a book called A How-To Book for kids.
Okay.
And this is Dewey Does speaking to kids and parents about how to stay fit even at a young age.
Okay. Right. Because our kids, when video games came along, that really meant that they were no longer outside playing, and that's what I remember from growing up. I'm sure you did as well. Is you never said it. Even when I read, my mother would just push me out the door and lock the door, and then I'd take my book and sit outside under a tree. But she said, "You got to get some sun. You cannot sit in this house and read." In Buffalo, we didn't get that much sun anyway, so it was really important to get you out there.
Here's one of those times again, or inspirations. When I was a kid, it was outdoors. It was up on, especially summertime, out 6, 7 in the morning, knock on your friend's door, come on outside, let's go play ball, Coke Larry 1, 2, 3, or shoot the basketball. That's what my son was like.
Okay.
That's exactly how he would get up, and that's how actually we moved into this neighborhood in New Jersey, and I met the neighborhood because of him at 9, 10 years old.
Oh, because he was
knocking on doors, bringing the kids outside.
Because they were indoors playing, right?
They
didn't want to come out.
He just refused to stay indoors, and I just look at kids and try to see the basketball courts, and the basketball courts are now empty. You couldn't find a basketball court around me that was empty.
Right, exactly. But nowadays you can. I mean, their kids just don't get out like they used to, or like we used to when we were kids. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. We need more people like you.
Thank you.
So we got 5 minutes left in your interview. Okay. I want to ask you 2 questions, and I also want you to tell us 3 things that you want to leave us with about your book and about the program you're running. So the first thing is your program on video?
It's on the internet, DeweyDoes.com.
In a video format?
The video is on. We have 3 animation shorts on YouTube.
Okay.
That you can just type in Dewey Does animations, and
you get it free.
And that one's called Dewey Does for President.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's another one I wrote.
Is it free or
it's free?
Okay.
Please go to YouTube, Dewey Does, and check out Dewey Does for Prez.
Dewey Does for Prez. And the next thing I want to ask is your book on those audio tapes that they can, or CD that they can pop in the car and listen to?
Not yet. As soon as I find someone that we have the time to put something like that together. But right now you can get a hard copy at DeweyDoes.com.
Yeah.
And you can find us on Amazon. Also, Dewey Does.
Okay, perfect. So what are 3 things that you'd like the listeners to walk away with regard to what you do and your program?
Well, I want to tell you, I like you, Crystal, did a lot of reading when I was a kid. And I came across a quote. And the quote said, was by Oliver Wendell Holmes. He said, introduce a child to new things and their mind will never go back to the same. Okay. It's got to be inspirational for anyone to go get out and get a book. Go get your child a book. All right. I want to thank A.C. Bellevue Public Library for allowing us to come do a public reading to the kids. I want to also thank Office of Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, who helped us get into the libraries, and we want to keep coming back.
It's very good.
And there's an article out there in the newspaper, The Wave, came out today. Please read about it. It tells a little bit more about myself and about the Dewey Does products, and you can find out more information at DeweyDoes.com and DeweyDoes.org.
Okay.
Excellent. I love what you're doing with kids. We need to have more people doing what you're doing with kids. The kids really need this. It's inspiration for them. You see what I mean? And what you bring to the table is just phenomenal.
Yeah. That's
we will be at the Lambert Park Book Fair tomorrow giving away back-to-school products.
Yes.
Please, I'm reaching out to all kids out there. Please come by, check us out.
I want you to look into the camera right here and tell them.
The Dewey Does mascot, or the Dewey Does will be out there. Come see Dewey Does. Come get some of Dewey Does free gifts.
Yes.
And listen to the new Dewey Does song we introduced, and check out the new Dewey Does dance.
Yeah.
And also, those of you on Facebook Live, you guys can't hear or see my guest, but he is asking for all of you to take your children to, what's the
Lamar Park
Book Fair tomorrow afternoon at the Times?
All day. 6
all
to 6.
day long, 6 to 6. They have back to school gifts for the kids. They have a new dance and new music and everything for the kids. So you guys tell a friend and take them on out there. Take the kids out there. And they just got back to school. So this is a great time. They're ready to read some new books. And Dewey Does can help them embrace their diversity in our community, right?
Absolutely.
So since we're on video right now, you want to show us a little Dewey dance there so they can get it when they're logging?
I don't have skills like that. But Dewey does. I can tell you that.
Dewey does.
Dewey does. Well, our wonderful guest here on the show today was phenomenal. You know, he writes a lot of books for kids and
publishes.
One of his next books that he's going to write, it's going to be Gilly the entrepreneur. Dewey.
So, and if you haven't guessed it by now, Gilly is Gilbert.
That would be me.
And so Gilbert actually was a film.
I was a singer, and a songwriter and producer.
And that was your name, right?
That was my stage name.
Gilly. So if you guys haven't figured that out, that's why he keeps saying Gilly. And so here we have Dewey Does First Day, story by John Cooper, illustrations by Sid Blaze. And so as you can see,
hold it up.
Gilly is Dewey is a really cute little boy.
Yes.
And then we have Dewey Does In the Groove. So that's probably about music. I think that little kid right there looks like Spike Lee. Yeah. And then we have Dewey Does The Comeback. So that's soccer. So you guys can go out tomorrow to the Leimert Park Book Fair and check it out and go get some books for your children. Reading is an amazing thing. I spent my whole entire childhood, I think I probably started reading 3 or 4 books a week, probably about 2 years ago, because I don't have time now. But so now I have to listen to books.
So we want to thank our guest a lot. We thank our guest and his publisher. Your publicist, rather.
Yes. Yeah, your publicist.
His
getting
publicist,
you on the show.
Yes.
Hey, publicist.
Walisa. She's been phenomenal. So we want to thank you all, and hopefully we can have you back soon so we can talk about the other edition.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
and I'll send out a blast tonight and see if we can get some people out there to Leimert Park. I have lots of friends that have kids or grandkids. They're grandkids. And grandparents are the best people to go after because they love to spend money on their children, on their grandbabies. So I got a lot of friends that's got grandbabies now.
That's right. Now, we got plenty of books.
Did you tell them your phone number, how they can get a hold of you?
Again, contact at DeweyDoes.com. You can find us on Facebook at Real Dewey Does, Twitter Real Dewey Does, and Instagram Real Dewey Does. And my name is Thomas.
That's what we're talking about. So we're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. We're going to go ahead and take a break right now. Take a break.
All righty. See you guys shortly.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Welcome back to the Business Zone. This is
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today we've got a wonderful guest. And Crystal, who do we have in the house?
We have Miss Sherri Franklin. Now, Sherri, I don't even think a bio does her well because she does so many
We
things.
will throw out the bio.
We're going to let her tell us because this lady is pretty awesome.
We will go live.
I told Gilbert earlier, Sherri, that the one thing I like best about you is that you're a visionary, but you're also a visionary that makes stuff happen.
That's right.
Thank you.
And so a lot of people will say and do, and they have all these big plans, but they never activate. But if she says she's going to do it, it's going to happen. Whether the people who are involved or not is still on the trail, she leaves them in the blazes and she takes off. And
We're
does what
in
she
love
does.
with her because she's a disruptor, just
a
like we are.
disruptor.
So this is beautiful.
So now she is in this new area, and that's new to California, and it's the California cannabis industry, and she is taking it by storm. She's learning about it, but at the same time, she is coming hard and strong. And so she has created a program, an accelerator hub called Think and Grow Lab. Mm-hmm. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to tell you all about herself and the lab.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
And what the cannabis industry means to California.
Wow, thank you for that introduction, and thanks for having me on this show today. Yes, my name is Sherri Franklin. My core business is Urban Design Center. We're consultants to government agencies and nonprofits, helping them transform their visions to reality. We specialize in affordable housing development, transit projects, infrastructure projects, building boys and girls clubs, youth centers, and economic development projects. We raise the money and help to manage the project from beginning to end. We act as an owner's representative and a project manager to make sure the project is completed in accordance with the funding and all the requirements. And we specialize in land use planning. So we work on a lot of projects here.
It's beautiful.
We are the thought leaders for Leimert Park Village 2020 Vision Initiative. My firm is one of a few firms here in the city of Los Angeles who are approved to create business improvement districts. So we create special tax zones, and those zones are a specialized tax that is collected so that you can implement programs within a specific area, such as people who go through the areas as community ambassadors, and they make people feel comfortable shopping, or clean streets programs and branding and marketing. So we formed the Central Avenue Historic District, and Ms. Crystal here is the accountant for the organization. So thank you for keeping us in order.
Thank you. I am so impressed by what goes on in Central Avenue. You think you're in a whole nother little city.
That's great.
I mean, she got it running. She got people on bikes, their associates on bike, or ambassadors is what they're called, right? And so Gilbert, you will absolutely love Sherri, because when she talks about finances, we work extensively on the chart of accounts, and I mean, these are like masterpiece chart of accounts. I'd say at this point, we didn't work through them, we didn't thought through them, and I'm very impressed with the work that I've done with them.
I am loving that. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. That's one of the things that's big and dear to me with small businesses, having their financial house in order. And part of the program that we have here, the Small Biz Pro system, it helps businesses organize their balance sheet, profits and loss statement of cash flow, and all of that, running through their ratios, their gross profit margins, and all of that. So this is great.
It's much needed. For the Central Avenue Historic District, for instance, we have 266 businesses on the corridor from Vernon to Washington Boulevard, and many of them are just transitioning into business management. So we welcome your support to help them succeed, and we're working on diversifying their products and so forth. But they're paying taxes, so we want them to be successful, and
That's
we're
what
there.
I'm talking
so we would
about.
love to continue to work with
yes. So we're going to set something up so we can come on in and meet with you, show you the program, how it works, and immediately start working with these guys and getting them set up the right way.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, so as Crystal mentioned, we have been around for a long time, over 25 years, building affordable housing and helping building capacity within organizations so that they can build and manage their own buildings themselves. And then we also help raise a lot of grant dollars.
Good.
It was in my role as the manager of the Business Improvement District. My partner, Danny Shaker, he and I are engaging in affordable housing development and other businesses. And he said, Sherri, we really need to focus on this cannabis. I'm like, oh, no way. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to be involved. I grew up in South Los Angeles, so I have, more of the image of the war on drugs and what a lot of things that were happening in our community, thinking that we need to keep people away from this as a business, right?
Right.
That was my thought, and I have family members who've been on the other side, we'll say. But he said, no, this is an economic engine. This is a new economy. Yeah. And just like, alcohol was a new economy, the problem is that it was scheduled as a Schedule I drug, and it's not. And he began to educate me, and I began to meet other people to understand the medicinal benefits of cannabis, and in fact that there's a whole movement to legalize it, which people are going to jail and there's no proof that it does a lot of the things that it would be equivalent to actual drugs. Right. So Reginald Jones Sawyer, I have to throw this in there, our Assemblyman Reginald Byron Jones Sawyer Sr., called our office, and he was like, Sherri, we need you to bring your Central Avenue Historic District bit on the bus with me for the King Day. And I said, oh, okay, that would be so nice. Well, I've known Reginald for a long time, but I only had his personal email. So I went online and I said, let me find his work email, his official email, so I could send him a thank you. Yeah. And I was searching, and up pops, Reginald Byron Jones Sawyer authors the, new recreational marijuana, bill. And I'm like, what? Oh, my God. So I said to Danny, Danny, we're going to be on the bus with Reginald during the King Day Parade. You should talk to him about marijuana. So we get on the trolley. It was like an open trolley, going down. We were on there, and it was really nice. It was just our board and a few other people and Reginald. And so I lean over and I say, Reginald, Danny wants to talk to you about marijuana. Because in my day, you whisper about that. Marijuana. He goes, what did you say? I said, marijuana. And he looks at me into the top of his lungs. He goes, you mean cannabis? Sherri, it's cannabis. And I made that legal. And I'm like, oh, my God. So needless to say, say I was highly embarrassed. We're on this respectable King Day parade, and we're talking about cannabis. So,
oh boy!
So that's how I was introduced to it. I had to go and then do more research,
right.
and that's what started. And that was what, January 20th with King Day.
Yeah,
that was
January 20th. She had done a whole lot in this short period of time.
Yes. So we set about. Danny's like, I really want to do something positive. I want to make this, something that people in the community can benefit. He owns property on Central Avenue, and he's been very committed. Mm-hmm. So we went to Council President Herb Wesson, who is leading the charge to legalize cannabis here in the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And he had a working group, so we asked permission to join the working group, and he goes, sure. He goes, you need to do something. Make sure we get jobs. Make sure we have access. Make sure that that all of the resources that going to come from this, the community benefits, all those things stay in our community. And if we don't do it, who else is going to do it? So that led to the development of Think and Grow Lab, which is an accelerator hub focused on providing access, but also innovation. We wanted to make sure that our people in our community have an opportunity to benefit from the new medicinal elements. It also is going to innovate when it comes to lighting and water, because a lot of it's aquaponics. And so we began to put together a concept that is going to be what is a framework for training people in the industry and setting what we call what we've set as our social equity elements, and that's providing business opportunities, providing job training opportunities and job placement, innovation, letting people get involved in the innovative new technologies and new benefits that are going to come from cannabis. Also, investment, creating frameworks for people within our community to actually invest in this opportunity, and what we call social parity, people who work within the cannabis industry having an opportunity to invest or to create employee stock option programs.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic right there.
That's excellent.
Because it is an industry that is our new, gold rush, a lot of people are calling it.
Right.
So we want it to be an opportunity to create legacies and wealth. And it's going to be larger than the movie industry. They're projecting that it's going to surpass the movie industry in terms of billions of dollars, $50 billion by 2026.
I can see that. Now, I see where you have a training program here, and I'm looking at several modules. You've got about 9 modules here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we were able to submit an application and get accepted to the Lacretz Innovation Center downtown Los Angeles in the Arts District. And so we're very excited about that partnership because there are so many brains there creating all kinds of innovative technologies in water and lighting and sustainable products. But what we've done is we've gone through both the state and the City of Los Angeles proposed regulations. Just a few days ago, the City of Los Angeles created the commission that's going to oversee reviewing all the retail applications and also selected its first executive director, Ms. Kat Packer, and she's just a phenomenal person and leader. And then one of the leaders here of Leimert Park Village, Misty Wilkes, is a commissioner. So the city has set the division up. It's a brand new department, which is incredible in and of itself, and a whole new staff. And so they're now going through and finalizing the regulations. And the state is finalizing its regulations as well. It's being driven by the Governor Brown put out what we call a trailer bill, and he determined all the elements, how the department's going to work together, and what kind of licensing. And so the state's finalizing that through all the different departments. So there's a cannabis department at the state of California, but other departments also are involved, food and agriculture, and then also the Board of Equalization. So there are many different departments that people will have to get sign off from, fill out forms, and so forth. So a lot of people aren't used to that. Some of the other things, so what we've done is gone through all of the city's regulations, which include everything from the state, because local jurisdictions can have additional regulations, but they can't have anything less than what the state. So it has to be more restrictive. It can't be less restrictive.
Okay.
So, and then in the city of LA, they've decided that you get the license here first, then you can get a state license, but you cannot operate until you have a state license. So that's one of the important things I want people to know. A lot of people are saying, oh, I'll get started. Please don't do that.
Right.
Because not only does the city of Los Angeles overwhelmingly support legalization, and we also did at the state, they've also put in some requirements and some consequences. So, for instance, a new consequence that they'll start to implement in the new year is property owners will be can be fined up to $20,000 per day.
Wow.
Per day. And the business, if they are facilitating illegal or non-compliant businesses. So we want property owners to know you might be enticed by the money, but you've got to do things right. So it's going to be very important. And we only have about 135 to 180, depending on who they are, what they call pre-ICO businesses that have permission to operate under the former medical. But we have over 1,400 illegal operations in the city of Los Angeles.
Wow.
So those are going to have to...
They're going to convert them?
Well, hopefully. We're telling people you need to make sure that you become compliant. And we don't want the city shutting down a lot of businesses that are compliant or that could be compliant, let's say that. So we're asking everyone to look at the regulations and get started now. Licensing at the state starts January 2nd. So everybody's moving towards that. Some other cities, the smaller cities, are saying, hey, come to our city because we'll give you a license right now and you can just start. We don't care because they're trying to draw away from the real brand is the city of Los Angeles. It is going to be the international market for the cannabis. This is the new gold rush here in the world.
I can imagine.
Wow.
And so we need to be at the table. There are many industries that we have not taken advantage of or were able to take advantage of, and we're just now making inroads like in entertainment and all those in terms of the dollars, ownership, control. But this one, we can start off in that position.
Now, let me ask this quick question about compliance. As you were talking about some of the homeowners or property owners who don't ensure that their businesses or the renters or their tenants are licensed with the state, then would your organization then send out compliance officers to try to encourage them to register or certify?
Well, we're not going to send people out, but we welcome people to our training programs. You can go to thinkandgrowlab.org, and you'll be able to register for the different training programs. We have one coming up on the 29th of this month, and we'll have one every month and maybe a few others. And we're partnering with other organizations also who offer training programs. So, yes, they will be able, and for our organization, we're focused on the application. We're focused on, getting you ready for J2, January 2nd. At both the city level and the state level. And we have gone through the applications and created several modules that'll help people walk through the process. Your organizational structure. A lot of, for most people, that's, are you a corporation? Are you sole proprietor?
LLC.
What are you? But the state is asking for a lot of details for your entity that you wouldn't normally have to disclose.
Okay.
You have to disclose, who your partners are, your spouses, what percentage ownership everybody has.
Which makes sense.
Because they're trying to keep the black market out, right?
Right.
And then there's other things that you'll have to do in terms of business filings and management of your organization. The finance side of it, we want to more people in our community become leaders in helping manage these organizations. So that's a top job right there, being able to understand how to manage the money. And as you know, this is an unbanked industry. So one of the things we're doing also is we're working to create a credit union and then eventually a bank, because
That's good.
now it's a cash economy, which is not a good way to do business.
Right, exactly.
And then we're working with people on their site control and readiness. Right now, wherever your site is, you can only have retail sales, like dispensary, but they're called retail now, in commercial zones that are not next to sensitive uses, like a child care, a school, a park, a library, or drug rehab center. So you need to make sure your site is compliant, or you will not get a license. Manufacturing and cultivation could be in the M zone, and that cannot be within 800 feet of a school, and all the other sensitive uses you're okay.
And that's where the classes are going to come in perfect, because
Yes.
we'll educate them about these things.
Yes.
Yes.
We also want to focus on what they call your standard operating procedures. You have to explain how you're going to operate, for the different type of licensing, retail, cultivation, manufacturing.
Yeah.
If you want to do delivery service, all of your delivery services that are out there, they're not operating under any rules and regulations right now.
Okay.
So they're going to have to, and we'll go over those things with people in the classes.
One thing I would add to this is a safety and hazard communication program as well.
Yeah, we have that under, under your compliance.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because there are a few things that are an issue with your compliance. One is seed to sale tracking. That means every single seed that you have is tracked all the way. And so I tell people that in your language, I said, how you're trying to work out QuickBooks? Well, the seed to sale tracking is QuickBooks on steroids.
Right.
So you need to sit down and learn this, because that's where the fine structure is created by the state.
Yeah.
You can be fined at so many levels for not doing things, even managing your waste in a proper way. So you want to avoid that, because that can add up.
Right.
$5,000 here, $5,000 there for a fine because you didn't do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But the other issue is mold, mildew, making sure that the product is a safe product, and testing, sending it for any other kind of solvents and things like that. So those are things that have to be compliant. And then there's volatile and non-volatile manufacturing, so that you have to comply with all of the rules and regulations if you want to do volatile manufacturing. The city of LA, we're not sure if they're going to allow volatile, but other areas in the state do.
Okay.
And that's using like butane for extraction and things like that. So yeah, you might need to have one of those enclosed rooms, so in case anything blows up, not the whole building blows up.
Just that little room.
Just
that little room.
Well, that's what I was telling Gilbert, that based upon what we do, we've already talked about myself in the financial side, but Gilbert does a lot of under the compliance just in his regular building business, and then we have some associates do HR training and safety and OSHA.
So
we
needed.
will come to you with a program to outline what we can do for this to make sure everyone stays in compliance.
Absolutely, because if we're going to help our people in our community transform, remember they're just dealing with it as cash now. They're not tracking.
Right.
Most people can't even tell you what their cost of goods sold are.
That's true.
Right.
And the accounting for cannabis is not the same. You don't get to depreciate anything. You actually don't even get a cost of goods sold. It's just cash in, cash out, how much you spent, your tax on the total amount. The tax for the medicinal product is at about 5%, and then the recreational or adult use is 10%. So, and each location can only be one or the other. You can't have both mixed together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So and it has to be separated by a door, separate facility for cultivation or manufacturing or retail, and then your retail can't be within 800 feet. So if you want to operate multiple. Here in the city of LA, you'll only be able to operate under one license or person, 3 retail shops.
See, that's where the standard operating procedure comes in.
Oh my God, we have to focus on it and get people.
Oh, yeah.
This is a business. This is a business that is micromanaged.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm getting excited. I'm going, wow, we can bring these in. We can do this. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And so we're very heavily focused on compliance, because we don't want people to spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars it's going to take to create these businesses and then be shut down because of something that they didn't do to stay compliant. But the other thing that we in Los Angeles are very proud of is that Council President Herb Wesson is creating something that's not in any other city. Oakland has a social equity program, and maybe another place, but I think the city of LA is going to be the gold standard, because we have a much bigger population and we're a much bigger city. And so what he's done, unlike most cities, he said, fine, we're going to make sure that our existing pre-ICO businesses are licensed first. Then thereafter, they're considering a registration for manufacturing and cultivation, not retail, for them to come out of the woods and become legal. But after that, it's a one-to-one. And what that means is for every social equity license that's issued, other people can get a license. And so he's like, it can go one for one as long as we have to, until we feel that we have issued enough licenses to people who were impacted by the war on drugs first. And I tell you, he's hold firm on that, and it is something that I think that's where we in our community have to step up. He set the framework for how this is going to work. So if it's going to happen, we need to train people on accounting. We need to make sure they understand compliance. We need to find them compliance sites, our real estate people. We need to make sure that, we're making sure that people, our young people are trained in this new opportunity. That's where all of our business development entities need to step up to the plate, or it will never happen. City has set the framework. So I tell people, even about Obama, he set the framework. Now, what are you going to do? Right?
Exactly. So now it's up to us to step up to be able to help to make sure. So now the taxes from the sales, how is that going to help the city of Los Angeles?
Oh, wow. So first of all, City of LA is going to be, I don't know, it's like, just imagine you're in the beginning of something.
Cash cow.
Yes. So the state is expecting well over $1 billion. And given the population, and that's just recent, we don't know how that's going to grow. So the city of LA could probably get at least, we're the big city, let's say it gets a third of that, it's 300,000. Our deficit for the city is only $136 million. So if you get an extra $300 million, wow, you can see how that helps. But not only that, the state has mandated where a lot of these taxes go. It's going to go into drug rehab programs, it's going to go into education, and it's going to go into law enforcement. So a lot of people ask, will there be more enforcement? These police are going to have so much more money from the cities up to the state and to enforce, and hopefully the people in Washington, whoever those people are, we want to talk to them. Don't decide to stick their heads. They're busy enough being, whatever.
They're super busy right about now.
Super busy dealing with the Russians. Leave us alone.
Russians and those other people.
Yeah, those other people. Okay, those people. We won't talk about them. But so they're going to have money. They're going to have money to do surveillance and track things. So don't assume that nobody's watching you after. This is a lot of money on the table to give to our law enforcement and also for the schools, because we know that young children under the age of 21 should not indulge in cannabis because it does have effects on them. And that is proven. When your brain is finished, growing and developing, yes, but not until then. So we need to make sure parents are educated and schools are educated and young people are educated. They can be trained on the job component of it, but don't indulge. And myself, I've never indulged. But it is an economic business opportunity, just like other things.
Like alcohol, right?
Like alcohol.
So that's when I was doing the research. One, when you first brought it to me, I did my research, and then two, when I was researching for the show, that they're equivalent this to a post after alcohol prohibition.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is going to be that same.
Yes.
And so we take the same processes on preventing children from drinking and so forth. So I see it exactly like that.
Yes.
It's just, of course, the compliance has to be in place that it is a legalized business.
Yes.
So after this program, do they receive a certificate for completing these 9 modules?
No. What they get is an ability to fill out an application and get a business going. We don't even want, it's not an exploratory thing. We want people at the table who are ready to operate a business. That's their certificate, is a license. Okay. To operate.
That works.
That works. You know what I mean? The city of LA is right now, the industry is asking them to issue licenses. Right now, they're only going to issue a certificate of compliance, and then you get a state license. But what you want is a license, and we're encouraging the city to issue licenses to people that people can, pass down to their children, just like you can with the liquor license. And so that's what we want. There's no time for glory. You get no stars, no nothing. Just a license.
So they go through this before they get the license then?
What we want are people right now who are ready to enter the business and are ready to start packaging This is a lot of information to package from your site to your financing, your organizational structure, your SOP, your standard operating procedure. You also have to have a community component. That's another component of our city that is very wonderful. They're mandating, the state mandates community benefits, so neighborhood councils will have a strong role in this process. But the city of LA doubled down on that. They were like, 30% of your employees have to be local hire. 10% have to be from the transient community. So that means we need to make sure that people are being trained, because you will not have a business and a license if you're not also looking to employ locally. So we're encouraging all of our nonprofits to get people ready and make sure that businesses in your community are hiring locally. These are not minimum wage jobs. And the other thing for the money side is branding and owning a brand, owning something that becomes iconic. We're focusing on that. People need to know an intellectual property protection. So we're also going to walk people through that process. So I think in Grow Lab we have a general training program. People can come. We'll also have a program if people need more assistance, helping them package up their application and submitting it to the state. So we'll have a deeper level of, we're also making sure we're infusing innovation into every meeting so that people look at it from a green perspective as well as new technologies, because it's not the same old business. And we also have created an incubator. So we have a 160,000 square foot building on Pico Boulevard that's going to be an incubator where people can actually come, and it'll be the only one in the country that we know of where you can have hands-on come and learn as somebody who's job training, but also if you're a business, you want to learn how to grow, you can learn how to grow there, and then we will help place you into a facility that's compliant and move your business forward and wrap our arms around you in terms of management, operations, seed to sale tracking, and staffing. So that 160,000 square foot building, we're actually going to accept applications from people who qualify for social equity to be in that building.
That's good.
That's fantastic. Well, Gilbert and I definitely want to be involved. You already know we've already talked about what my role is going to be.
Yes.
So now the compliance, that's to get the license. So is there auditing and ongoing compliance after they've gotten the license?
Absolutely, yes. And I just want to mention the name of our incubator is Cola Cannabis of Los Angeles.
Cola with a K or C?
C, yeah. Cola is actually the head of the plant, so it has a symbolic meaning. Yeah, my partner Danny Shaker is leading that effort. And we're partnering with different people also and raising money for them. But yes, this is an ongoing compliance. Every year you will have to submit for a new license. So that means if it's a 12-month period, by month 7, you're preparing for your new submittal. Every single year. There's a new filing fee, and you have to get back in the game every year, and you can lose your license. So again, it is highly regulated. You have to reapply both at the city and the state. You have to have your city before you get to the state. So it is going to take some management, for people to be able to do that. And when you look at these applications are going to be like 3-ring, 3-inch binders kind of thing of information that you're submitting.
And the ones who don't submit, they just don't get.
They don't get in, so we want to make sure there's opportunity for jobs and investment. Not everybody's going to be ready. And so all I keep saying is get ready. Don't worry about this or that. Start your application packaging. Start your process now and start getting ready. And pull consortiums together. Get your family together and decide how you're going to invest. There are people who have land in other cities. Maybe you would do cultivation in those areas, but it is a great opportunity for families to pull together as well to look at investing in this market.
And what's the outreach process you're using to be able to bring people into this new gold age?
Well, there are many people who are doing outreaching. There's a California Minority Alliance, which is one of the organizations that was helped to pass Measure M, which which created the city's policies on cannabis, and they're also making sure that social equity is at the forefront of the city's cannabis licensing process. So they're outreaching. We, through many of the other institutions that I work with, we're doing outreach. So our classes are packed. So we're actually, we love being at the Lacrette's Innovation Center, but we can only have like 40 or 50 or 60 people in a room. We've already feel like we're outgrowing the space. So now our next meeting, we have to book multiple rooms.
Right.
Somebody has to present here, then they have to go over there.
Okay.
So there's no shortage. But what there is going to be is a long line for licensing. So we're telling people, get ready now. The City of LA has an open process.
Right.
That means anybody in the world
Can go.
can
come.
submit.
So we want to make sure that our community, that we get that outreach to them.
Because we can be, overrun. They could get 10,000 licenses. There's no limit right now, but there is a limit based on land use compliance. So there's only so many you can have in these zones.
Right.
Now, what's the cost of a license?
It depends. At City of LA, submittal fee is $7,500 as of now. In the draft regulations, I don't know what it's going to be in the final, and that's every year. The state has licensing based on the type of license and the size of your grow. So the maximum grow, you hear people go, I'm going to do all these licenses. Well, the maximum that they allow any one entity to have in the state is 4 acres. And that 4 acres, they're only issuing so many 1 acre. Most of it is going to be 22,500 or less. So you can have 22,500 as your big canopy. Then there's 10,000 to 22,500. And then there's like the micro, like 2,500 to 5,000 micro grow. And they have that broken down in terms of square footage. So there's a different fee for each one of those, and you're submitting that on an annual basis. And it could also be based on some of the other companies, like your seed to sale tracking. They're going to be charging you based on your revenue and or sales, and so that also is a pretty big number that you'll have to pay out every month to just track your business, to keep it legal.
So, and then what are is there costs for the Think and Grow lab? Okay, what's that cost?
Each one of them depends, but we're trying to keep them very affordable. This next session is $95 for the session, which is a 4-hour session. And we will have more that are different price when we get into the SOP. Those will probably be between $250 and $300 because it's someone sharing their best practice methodology with you and how you actually prepare and implement a business. So those will be a little bit more, but each one between $95 and $300 per session. And then we'll have we're building our website, thinkandgrowlab.org, so we can have links to information because some people are, they can do it on their own. So we want to have the website so that you can go on and pull down the application, everything you need to do. You might not need that hand-holding. So it will be a resource to people as well.
So, what I'd like to do is with the video here, we'll kind of clip it up so this part is kind of separate, and then I'd like to be able to put the links below it on our YouTube.
Thank you.
And then links to wherever they need to go in order to get to you. And then even with Recycle Black Dollars, because we could reach out to some of our groups, and I belong to another group called the Bella Network. In fact, we're having a conference in November, and I'd like to introduce you to Alicia, who's the founder, because this might be, for new business opportunities, something that we can link in and do some business together with her, with this group of women. There's about 700 of us right at the present moment.
Love it.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yes, well, we definitely want
right?
more women involved. There are not as many, and people of color are also not at the table. And we need to change that. So one of the brands that we're launching is Califia Organics, which is the mythical character who founded California, African American, Latina. So we're pretty excited about that, and we've been talking about women and pulling together a collective to be able to be at the table in this industry.
In fact, I think on the 24th we're actually having our planning meeting for the conference. See what your calendar is like, and I can bring you. And then you can meet Alicia and see her purpose for for the Bella Network was to create a tribe for the women in business, and that we always have each other's back and we support each other in whatever we do. Absolutely. And it's an amazing group of women we're all forward thinking, and there's like 20 of us that are coaches that were that was the beginning part, but Alicia has such an amazing vision for this, and so this could be fantastic. So let's see what I know you're a super busy lady.
Yes, we're very fortunate that we have contracts with many city departments and nonprofits, so we're very fortunate on that side. But this is a once in a lifetime, so I put a lot on, willing to put things on hold, because when licensing hit, we've got to be in line. I want to, just like people line up to, for after Thanksgiving for Black Friday.
For Black Friday.
I want to have everybody with
Green
intent.
Friday, huh?
Green Friday, I like that.
Green
We're going to have Green Friday, everybody lined up at City Hall waiting to file their applications. We need to be there in full force.
Right. Well, however we can help, because Gilbert has a full curriculum on compliance that he does with many entities, and it's based upon certification, but it's the same process, right?
Absolutely.
Organization and legalization of
operations
management. So he has a full curriculum already in place.
Let's do it. Our doors are open. We have the event on the 29th. If you'd like to present or at least introduce yourself, you're
that sounds great.
Welcome to do that.
What time is that?
It's from 12 to 4 on the 29th at the Lacretz Innovation Center on Hewitt Avenue in the Arts District off of 5th and Alameda. So I'll send it to you and you can post it. But please come. Again, you know how hard it is working to make sure businesses stay compliant on an ordinary basis. But just imagine, tell people, think about this. Every transaction has to be recorded by video.
Right.
Every transaction. There's going to be somebody watching every sell that you do.
Wow.
So just think about what that means in terms of oversight.
Now, when we went, because this is a lot of different businesses or opportunities.
Yes.
So even just the growing is one thing, but then there are people who can sell security cameras, security
company, every dispensary or retail place has to have security, and also cultivation and manufacturing. Let's just face it, we have to have that in our businesses. There's equipment, lighting, aquaponics systems, soil. There's going to be a need for ventilation. HVAC people are going to be very busy. Electricians. Your average cultivating site needs between 800 to 1,200 amps, which normally a normal building will have 200, right?
Oh, wow. So everybody will have to come back and re-equip.
And then keeping all that in order, you have to have a HVAC system which has great filtration so the smell doesn't exit the building. Real estate. Facilities management, keeping the mold and the mildew out and any other hazardous materials out of the product itself. Transport, delivery. I have a cousin who operates a trucking company. I'm like, you're going to get a transport license.
Yeah, I know Mona is definitely wanting to know where she fits in from the real estate standpoint.
Oh, absolutely.
And Timmy is already a facility manager, and he's looking for his second act.
This is facility management and keeping the system not only from a keeping it clean and managed in terms of the operations of the building, but cultivation,
maintaining it.
Yes, and also cultivation is a by-room kind of business. So when you plant the seed, it goes from a seed to another grow facility, then it might go to a drying facility, and then there's people in that room, then they check off who was in that room, then that person has to check off who was in that room, and then who did you hand it off to, how much was in that bulk before you submitted it over here, so that nobody's taking that bulk out the back door. Then somebody's managing the trash to make sure there's nobody at the back door collecting the trash. That has to be mixed with some other kind of wood or something so that it's not usable, and it has to be managed properly. So you're watching how people are operating, eyes on every single person throughout the day. all day. Very different than, go in there and pack that up. Oh, no.
So your employees got to be specifically trained so that they're handling it, knowing that everything is visual.
Right.
Wow. So you definitely got to have somebody HR involved in understanding.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And you have to have labor agreements if you have so many employees. So that is another thing that people, who has, and I think it's 20 employees or 25 employees, whatever it is. More than that, then you have to have a labor peace agreement. Right. So that's another thing people have to be able to manage, and just hiring people alone.
Right. So they're going to need a consultant that will come in and teach them.
HR management. This field is, every meeting there are lots of attorneys because they have to keep people compliant. Both at the city and state level, but you can have a lot of other staff people who understand the market. Banking. If we're ever going to move into a banked economy for the cannabis, one of the things that's going to be incumbent of whatever institution, and like for our credit union that we're creating, you can't just say, just come and open an account. No. I need to know your business. I need to know who's in it, how you're operating, what your operating income is, where you're selling to, how you sold, whether or not you paid your taxes, whether or not, because I have to make sure that you're not a front for some illegal operation, right?
Because then, this is maintaining really for them because they're unbankable right now. So,
but even when it goes, and even in creating a credit union or people are moving in, you can't just open bank accounts. You have to know everybody who's banking with you. So that's a different kind of banker.
Yeah.
It's a very different kind of banker.
Yeah, that is a different kind of,
because right now you walk in a bank and it's like, okay, next.
It's just driver's license and a Social Security and $250, right?
Yeah.
So it won't be that kind of, it's almost like applying for a loan or a mortgage, because you're going to have to turn over so many documents in order for you to be given a clearance to be the bank.
Absolutely. And that bank needs to be clear that you're not depositing money that wasn't part of your what you've been tracking, seed to sell.
So it's got to tie into the accounting system then.
It needs to tie into accounting or have some way of reviewing those documents and saying, we know that they brought in this much and this makes sense that they now have this many dollars, not that many dollars, and it's like, where did that come from? Your bank needs to make sure that it's tracking and only banking dollars that are being traced.
Right.
Okay, so that'll be a separate system. So if you have another business, this is strictly cannabis business here.
Oh, yeah.
And this is whatever kind of business you have over here, but we cannot, no commingling of any kind of
any other. In fact, they don't even want you selling any other real products in your space. That's another thing people would like to see. That at least you could sell a T-shirt,
See, these folks are going to have to be set up as if they're going to be audited by at the end of the year or whatever.
Audit ready.
And it probably needs to be audited like every 6 months.
Every single day.
To keep people on track.
Oh, no. The state is not only can watch every single transaction. I mean, that's just every time you do something, right?
Okay.
But your books are open 24/7. They can walk in and look at them at any time. And of course, the billions of dollars that we collected have given lots of money for people who will just love to just walk in and find something wrong with your business.
Oh yeah, because they don't have enough money. But they'll be making a lot of money. I mean, so you got to be some controls there, and it definitely can't leave any open. And it seems like they thought about every loophole that there possibly could be.
Which is good.
Yeah,
very good.
Other states have got have adult use a little bit before we have, even though California was the first in medicinal. Other states, Denver, Oregon, and Washington have had recreational a little longer. So we have been able to. They've all come down, a lot of the administrators in those states, to talk about best practices. But the thing is, in Denver, what do they have? I don't know, a handful of operators compared to what we're going to have in the city.
Right,
it's like night and day. I mean, we're going to just can't compare.
And I'm going to tell you, too, some of the folks in Denver and even in Vegas, Nevada, state of Nevada, they're not compliant. They're not operating like a business.
Right.
They're just a little facility where people come in, okay, cash, and that's it. So this is going to be, to me, is going to be the standard. It's going to be that benchmarking, facility.
Yes, and I think even in Vegas, they had less than 20. Just
Yes.
we already have 135, 80 plus already.
Already.
And then that's going to grow. So if we have 800, we'll have more than all the other states probably combined.
Wow.
Just on the dispensary side.
And then when you go into the actual edibles, that's a whole different kind of compliance.
So that's manufacturing, and so being able to. There are lots of rules. They don't want things that look like packaged like products that kids would have.
Buy, okay.
And I think that's really good. I don't even think they should look like anything a kid would want.
Right.
Personally, the state of California isn't allowing things like drinks or fruit drinks or things like that right now. So that's something. Anything that can. That has to be refrigerated and can spoil.
And that a child could pull out the refrigerator accidentally. Now, I also with Assemblyman Sawyer Jones, right?
Jones Sawyer.
Jones Sawyer. There's some legislation for those that have been incarcerated if they have felonies. I thought I heard that at the last meeting I attended, that they will be able to have businesses as well.
Yeah, so both Assemblyman Reginald Jones Sawyer and Council President Herb Wesson, their purpose and intent here is to make sure that people who have suffered or because they were involved in marijuana during the war on drugs have an opportunity to enter this market. That they have done everything they can from a regulatory perspective to make sure that we're able to offer opportunities to people in our community. That's what I think is true leadership personally, because it's not easy. People are coming at them going, why do they get licenses, and why is it a 1-to-1, and why so much attention? Well, you know what? We put them in office. We want them to lead, and as far as I'm concerned, they're leading. So, sorry, go get your own people to run for office.
I think this is absolutely fantastic, and however we can be a part of it, we definitely want to be. I think the being at the ground level of something revolutionary and disruptive as this could be pretty awesome.
Fascinating. I've been involved in literally every market here in the city of Los Angeles.
Wow.
Transit-oriented development. I was former president of transportation for the City of Los Angeles Commission and housing on the Board of Zoning and rent stabilization. And I tell you, if I went to someone, I said, hey, I work at transit-oriented development, and we're looking at, building up the density around our nodes of transportation. And it's like, womp, womp.
All righty. Okay, Sherri, that sounds exciting.
But if I just say, cannabis.
Really? You got my attention. What?
Everybody's involved. I've never been involved in anything where your politicals, your departments, your communities, your neighborhoods, even seniors. Seniors are the new market because they're using this for a lot of ailments that they have. Everybody is interested in this topic. I've never, and so it's hard for me to even talk about anything else I do.
Right, because this thing, and that's why, when I introduce you to the Bellas is because there's a lot of them are looking for their second act.
That's right.
They're coming out of corporate America and they're getting ready to retire. And so that's been a lot of our demographics is, okay, what can my second act be?
And, the thing that small business and ownership, entrepreneurship brings is the ability to build legacy, to enter a market, generate income so that you can invest in something else, whether that's your children's future in college or real estate or another small business or a franchise. It gives you the opportunity to do that, and that's where we've missed out.
Yes.
A lot of people who are in markets here who have been involved in the garment districts or been involved in other businesses such as even nail salons or something like that, they save those dollars and they reinvest them into something else.
Right.
That's where we need to be if we want to be able to take advantage of any economy and to help the next generation. That's what we're missing right there.
Absolutely. And with that being said, we're at the end of our show, which
we have to have her come back out again with the next act,
we're
second
gonna
part.
have to, yes, definitely. But we really want to thank you, Sherri, for coming here.
Thank you.
And we're definitely, Crystal and I, we're going to set up a meeting with you so we can come by and see how we can get things started. Okay. And I'm so excited about this. very, very excited about it.
Yeah, and I'd like to see how we can also incorporate some of our legacy nonprofits and how, whether we're doing job training or
we're bringing them to the table. Concerned Citizens of South Central Los Angeles, PV Jobs. The Institute for Maximum Human Potential is our fiscal agent and is going to be doing preparing people for work. Concerned Citizens doing that, going into the prisons and training people now. How they re-enter and re-enter a market from a business perspective.
Exactly.
Absolutely, that is critical. We want them all to come to the table.
That's great, because we're going to actually have a think tank, so that maybe that's some conversation we can have. Leo Kabline, with Operation Hope, he reached out to me, and that's some of the things we're talking about. So that could be some of our first project.
So thank you so much for being on the show. And customarily, we would have talked about upcoming events, but we're out of time. So
we'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week. This is the Business Zone.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.